I question how long they will be around unabated, or like how long they'll be available in the States.
George here. You want to ask a question?
Hey, what's up? So I've been kind of looking at and messing around with Liquid for a bit. Don't know a ton about it, just know the kind of simple things, what you can read on the internet. But understand that the transactions are confidential, so you can see a transaction, you just cannot publicly see how much that transaction has in it. So in theory, wouldn't Liquid make a great protocol for mixing if you're wanting to say, you don't want anyone that previously knew where your Bitcoin was or coming from and you wanted to mix it? Wouldn't that be potentially a great place to have inexpensive, maybe mixing protocols? I don't know. I'm just sort of thinking out loud.
No, that's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm by no means an absolute privacy expert, but you're right. There is some obfuscation there. So, confidential transactions, they actually kind of hide two aspects of the transaction. So Liquid is not at all like Lightning. It's more akin to how the regular Bitcoin blockchain works. And there's UTXOs, and there's you can send to an address. You don't need to be online or anything. But one of the other things is these confidential transactions, and it hides not only the amount, but also the asset, because on Liquid you can have things like stable coins and such. And so, so when you see a transaction on Liquid, you have no idea if it's Liquid Bitcoin, or if it's like Tether, or if it's like I've even seen like vouchers to claim like a free webcam cover. Like you can kind of put whatever, like you can put a coupon on there for something. So people have no idea really what's being sent back and forth. The one thing that I would say is it would not be the way that you can get into and out of Liquid depends. You can peg in directly, which is where you use a wallet like SideSwap, and in the little menu or the tabs down at the bottom, one of the options is peg in, and this will serve you up a Bitcoin address that is part of the big multi-sig that holds the on-chain funds. And when you do this, you are then issued newly created Liquid Bitcoin that is pegged 1-to-1. And again, like the federation and the protocol and all that is kind of your enforcement. So there is trust involved. It's important to note that. But if you're going into Liquid that way, and then you're pegging out on the other side, which is the opposite process, you give them a Bitcoin address, you send Liquid, which is then destroyed, and then some of the Bitcoin is sent out from the multisig to your own wallet. If you were to do that in the exact same amount, then it would be trivial to see what had happened on chain, because you see a transaction happening for a very specific amount of Bitcoin going into a multisig, and then you see a transaction going out of that multisig to a different address. That's pretty easy to look at. However, some of these swap mechanisms may kind of help with that. I question how long they will be around unabated, or like how long they'll be available in the States. But something like Bolts, where you send a Lightning transaction and you receive Liquid, or vice versa, or on chain to Liquid and back and forth, where it's swapping through that mechanism. Yeah, there's going to be more privacy attained through that. So that might be something that you might want to look at. Again, I can't for sure comment on like just how private that is, but it's definitely going to be more private than not doing a single thing, I'll say. And then also, if you were to say even peg into Liquid and then do transactions where you're doing swaps out to Lightning wallets in different amounts. That's a whole other thing too. So yeah, you could do a lot of different interesting things that way and obtain some privacy.